हवा खुशी की बहाते हैं, मुस्कुराहटें सब तक पहुंचाते हैं। वीरानी सी हो गई हैं जिंदगानियां कई, उन्हें हौसले की हवा से भिगाते हैं। We are proud to announce a StreeMing guest, Jennifer Alphonse, who is spreading happiness among the tribal community of India through her visual stories. We welcome you, Jennifer. Thank you so much for accepting our proposal.
Thank you for inviting me, and happy Women's Day to you and to all the ones who are listening. I usually think one day is not enough, but since it's the day, so we have to acknowledge it and celebrate it.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for being with us today, and happy Women's Day. And we are so glad to connect with you today and understand your story and your experiences. So I would quickly give your introduction. So Jennifer Alphonse is a Hyderabad-based international award-winning writer, independent filmmaker, producer, and also a photographer. Her work includes commercials, short films, music videos, documentaries, and short films and more. And she's an MBA graduate who has also done her film appreciation course from FTII Pune. And she believes that visual medium is the most influential medium for telling stories and making a difference in the world. And she's the first Asian female filmmaker to have gone to Afghanistan to shoot a feature film, which is currently undergoing. And she has amazement, like a childlike amazement towards cinema and its magical world. And we are so glad to have you with us today. So we would like to know more about your journey and your experience. So thank you, Jennifer, once again for joining us. So I would like to first ask you about your journey as a filmmaker and also what inspired you to choose filmmaking as your career.
Oh, this is a long story. Cutting it short. I've told it in many interviews. Getting into cinema was, I think, because of my dad. Even before I knew what cinema was, my dad wanted to become a filmmaker. He's no more now, but I knew cinema, the word cinema, from him. So unlike other dads, my dad was the one who took me to cinema, showed me movies, not just showing me movies, also told me what a shot is and what a film is and what a script is at a very, very tender age. I guess I'm just blessed to get all that info from him that age. And without, I think subconsciously it was just there inside, which the love just grew towards cinema. And I knew that this is all I want to do when I grow up. And thanks to my mom, a big thanks to her, because she allowed me to pursue this dream of what I want to do in life. So that's how the whole thing started. The whole credit goes to my dad.
That's so good to hear from you. As a child itself, you were like inclined towards this profession.
Because every time I know my friends' fathers, I mean, dad also was strict in studies and all, but he's the one who used to take me for movies and, not just once. There are few films I remember which we went a couple of times, like few children's films. We went like 3 times just for me to understand, and he used to show and tell at that time what were graphics, and all of this info came from him. So yeah, film school started there.
So big thanks to your dad, and I'm sure he is proud of you for sure wherever he is and giving you blessings. So you have been recognized as the first female director in Asia to film a movie in Afghanistan. Please tell us about your experience as a woman filmmaker to go to that place.
Now, from the time I was in Delhi, boarding my flight to Kabul, I had this constant question on everyone's face: why Afghanistan? Well, my script demanded. I guess I was lucky enough to have a producer from Kabul who gave that arrangements. He made those arrangements where it was practically possible for us to go and shoot in real locations. Otherwise, you write and then you have to cheat it somewhere in Ladakh, or you have to cheat it somewhere else. But I was probably privileged and blessed to shoot in the live location with Afghan people. So that was one. But the second thing was, as you said, being the female filmmaker, which I never much appreciate people differentiating. But I guess now that's how it's been termed as male filmmaker, female filmmaker. But that's how it is. So there, it was a very, very different experience, because usually they are not used to, taking orders from females. But I think I can just say that, extremely blessed to have a crew. All the 25 days to 30 days that I shot there, and 2 months, more than 2 months that I was in Kabul at different places in Afghanistan, I never encountered any problem in terms of being a female filmmaker, apart from the security which I was given. Yes, that's again, I say, I was surrounded by my crew, all men who completely took care of me. In terms of security or for anything for that matter, I was really taken care, where I didn't have to think about anything else but on the creatives. And yes, we had major issues, life-threatening issues, but in those times also, I was guarded and protected, where I could still concentrate on my shots. So a big thanks to my producer and my entire male crew, which took care of me. All of us are back alive today. It was a different experience there, because people think about Afghanistan and Afghanistan people, but I was very surprised to see how warm they are, and the hospitality was out of the world. I haven't seen traveled so many countries, but never experienced the kind of love they have towards Indians and towards India. The moment they hear that you're from Hindustan, even right from a chai wala to a person who's sweeping on the road, he will just come and appreciate you, or the women will come and hug you when they know that you're from Hindustan. That you have to experience only when you go there. And also the freedom. Here, I think you will start appreciating the freedom what we have. I go to work, I'm pursuing what I want to in life. I go alone to my work. I work with men, of course, because that is how the industry is. And then I come back home late, and there is no fear in your mind that today when I'm going out, will I come back home? There, that's the case. Every day when we step out of the hotel, we don't know whether we are going to come back home today alive, because any bomb can blast off, or anything can happen. The shooters or bombers or killers. So you don't know if you're going to come back home. So here, once you come back, after experiencing that, that here we don't even care. It's not even there in our mind that will I go back home? Of course I will go back home, unless some major thing happens. But there every day, and also understanding how women are treated there and how women are treated here. So there are so many things. You will probably just start, all of us, in fact, my group, start counting your blessings to be in India, and how privileged you are with all of what we have and what is going around. When you go on the other side of the grass and experience that, you start valuing where you are and be very grateful to the kind of life we are right now today. So amazing experiences.
And it was definitely a challenging experience, Jennifer, but it was your faith, I would say, in yourself and in your story that kept you going, and that actually inspired you to do that thing, go to that place and shoot the film and complete it and come back safe. So I think it was your complete faith in yourself and your story. So that is really inspiring for all of us, that we shouldn't give up on our faith because of challenges. So thank you for sharing that message with us. And okay, so I would also like to know that we know that you love telling stories, be it through photography or through filmmaking, and one such example is your coffee table book, Gosadhi. And so can you please tell us more about this book, and what was the process of creating it?
Since I told you, I mean, I love telling stories, and I think we are in the best of time. It's a golden age, thanks to digital. Now you have so many platforms. So now you can tell stories in different formats. And one of the formats is a coffee table book, a picture book mostly. Gussadi, especially the Gond tribe from Hyderabad, I have been associated with them from 2014. So, I mean, that's when I first got to know about them. Then I saw them dancing. Gosadhi was so mesmerizing. I mean, it just swept me off. And then it took a while for me to, get close to the tribe and understand what is Gosadhi all about and what goes into this. And when I did my research, I got to know that there wasn't much written about it. People in Hyderabad itself didn't know much about this tradition. And coming back to Telangana or India, there wasn't any good amount of information on this. So I said, okay, let me make a documentary. It wasn't easy to make a documentary because I was looking at a documentary in a very different way, which needs good amount of funding. And as you know, documentaries are like now maybe things are different. I'm talking about 5-6 years back. To get sufficient funds to make the level of documentary which I was wanting to make, I went through different kinds of obstacles. I had to do a crowdfunding. I had to ask many people. Then I got the support from the district collector of Hyderabad, and then language culture department and tribal welfare department. All of these people, came in and helped me and supported me and gave me. Once they started seeing, I shot a trailer. I showed them. Literally bugged them that I want to do this. And a big thanks to the tribe also. They took their time. They took 4 to 5 years to understand who am I, why am I doing this, and what is my intention behind doing this. But once they understood, they opened up. And that's how I could get the detailing which is there in the book. And while making the documentary, coffee table books are something which is my favorite. Like from childhood, I really love picture books. More than text. I like picture books. So it was always there in the mind. And when we were doing the documentary, there were many photographs. But now doing documentary itself needed so much of funding. Now again, for a coffee table book, I totally ran out of money. And in one of the meetings is when I put this proposal to Mr. Collector, and a big thanks to her because she's the one who approved it and gave permission and partly funded it so that we could actually make this dream come true. And yes, it took some amount of another 1 or 2 years again to make this book, but it's first of its kind on Gosadhi. This tradition. And extremely happy when it was made and it was given to these boys who were featured. And, when we shot this and we gave it to them. And they didn't understand when I was initially taking the pictures or the interviews or we were shooting the usual YouTube videos, what they see, they thought it would just be like that. But when they actually saw the images, they were blown off, and the smile or the tear in their eye, it was worth all these years of hard work which went into making this book. And also we decided that the funds which come in, because it changed me a lot as a person, and they have given me so much of love and respect. I felt in gratitude, it has to go back to them. So I have not been taking anything. The funds which come in when someone purchases this book, there's an account which is created by ITTA, and it goes into that account, and probably after the 6 months or a year, that amount will be given to these boys who are featured in this, or basically that village which participated and helped us making this documentary and this book. Because what I noticed was many times as filmmakers, we just barge into some village or somewhere, we just get the basic permission, you shoot, and they look up to you because you're coming from the city, and while shooting, maybe kuch acha ho jaye, something good happens, or there will be some change or some reform, and then we disappear and we never show up. They don't even know what we shot or where is it featured or what. I didn't want that because I've heard that and have seen and experienced that many a times. So I said, when I'm doing that, I won't do that. Once I finished my documentary, I went, I screened it there, the book. It was first released there, given it to the Sarpanch, given to all those kids. In fact, every kid in the house has got a big, huge size photograph of his portrait picture where it's framed and, put on the wall. So they know it's very transparent what's happening and how it is. And also, very intentionally, I wanted them to be very proud of their identity. The whole intention behind making the documentary or the book was I wanted them to, be very proud of their identity, because with the modernization from 2014 to 22, what I have seen is, a lot of things have changed. Smartphone has, it's a plus, but it comes with its, pros and cons are there. And things are getting diluted. If you're not very proud of your identity, another 20, 30 years from now, these kind of traditions will just die off. How much ever you try holding on, those important aspects which get into the basic detailing, which goes into every tradition, those will fade off. So for research purpose or for study purpose or for basic reference or nothing else, just to, have a souvenir or a memory of this ancient, more than 2000 years of, tradition, I thought, banta hai that apart from documentary, you should have something physical to hold in your hand and, have it with you. So that's the journey of the book and the film, of course. So, yeah.
Oh, salute to your spirit of never giving up and holding on to such a amazing subject. So tell me where we can find your book.
On Amazon.
It's on Amazon? Okay.
Yes,
so I request everyone, whoever is watching it, please search on Amazon. And for sure, we will be pasting the link of your Amazon book. So I'm sure we all will buy it and see the amazing work which Jennifer has done. So filmmaking is a powerful medium for educating masses. So as a filmmaker, what do you feel? How can you educate people and bring in the shift in their thought process?
Mostly, since I started off with the belief that it's a very, very influential medium. Wherever I can, however I can, I keep doing stuff. So that's how I'm connected to, the SHE teams or the NGOs or the women welfare or tribal welfare or traffic police, all of these, because as I told you, with digital, the formats, you have different formats. And when you make these kind of films, somewhere, the attention span has gone so low. In a matter of 1.5 or 2 minutes, if you're able to say something, in the millions of people who are watching, even at least one person would benefit from what you have done. I think as a filmmaker, what else can I ask for? If it impacts a person, whether follow traffic rules or for safety or don't get into peer pressure or whatever stuff I have done till today, if it impacts or it makes you think of what we are talking about, I think that is what is what is more what is important and the very core reason for me to tell these stories, to make you think. And when the person starts thinking, somewhere, even knowing or unknowingly, the change will come. It will definitely come. So it has to start with you. So we do that and put it out there. And then yes, it does. Because recently also, I think we did 1098 child helpline, and we are seeing not a big difference. Because see, sometimes I believe what you do change, maybe you cannot see in your lifetime, maybe. But when you do it with the right intention and you put it out there, if not now, somewhere in future, somebody will see it, and you never know. A life can be saved, or life can be transformed or changed. That's the power of visual media. So I think you should use it in whatever capacity you can.
So, Jennifer, like you said that you are telling these stories that will make us think, and that will definitely make an impact in the society, that will, transform lives, and also will bring in the shift in the thought process. So, like your stories are familiarly different, they are unusual, but they're real. So, what kind of stories do you want to tell in future, and what's your vision as a filmmaker and as a person?
all kinds of stories. I don't want to get into a box. So if you see, maybe horror is something which I don't know if I will really get into that. But I want to tell all kinds of stories. So not restricting myself to, I will say, only realistic stories. I want to try adventure, fantasy, biopic, anything which is probably never told before, or if there is a different perspective of telling that story in a different way to the audience or presenting it in a different way. Those, all kinds. That's why, as I said, whether it is documentary or docufiction or complete out and out commercial, anything, any of it, I don't want to get restricted in a box and say, I will do only this. When there is facility and you are in that age, why not try telling different stories? Again, if a story is meant to be told in 2 minutes, say it in 2 minutes. You don't have to drag it to 2 hours. And if a story needs 2 hours of time, then make it a feature film and say it in 2 hours. So completely depends on what kind of story hits my head and what format I want to say it and which platform I want to choose. So we have all that choice nowadays. So use all of them and try different storytelling. So not just many.
True. Yeah, we are really waiting to see more and more stories and films by you, and all the best for that. So, Jennifer, what is your motivation mantra?
Motivation mantra: stories, films. Like anytime I'm let down or human, you feel that. Just go watch a film, your favorite film, and completely you get energized. And this is why I'm here. This is my dream, and this is what I'm supposed to do. As they say, pain is temporary, cinema is forever. So that is my motivation. Anytime, just get energized. One good film, or even few scenes in a good film, or in my favorite film, anything. Just see that, and oh my God, the impact it gives you. It energizes you totally. I mean, I don't get that in, I don't know. I mean, people have their own choices of, getting motivated, and they go, they drink. I mean, each one has got their own stuff. But for me, the drug is cinema. I watch and completely takes me to a different trance and different world, and I think, and then I'm all set to go again. So cinema, yes.
Wow, Jennifer. So, generally people think that cinema is just a mere entertainment. It's just, okay, you go watch a movie and okay, you're just done with that. But you have reminded us that it's a powerful, a medium for storytelling. And also it's something that can make impact and can make a difference in our lives. So thank you for, making us believe in the magic of cinema, and it's just not entertainment. So we are so glad to connect with you and speak to you about your experiences and as a filmmaker and as a person itself. So that has been really interesting and inspiring for us. And thank you so much for joining. And I would just like to conclude this session by saying that we do not have to conquer mountains. We just have to believe in ourselves. We have to conquer our own selves. We have to have faith in our dreams, our wishes, our potential, and we should keep choosing faith over fear consciously every moment. And you have reminded us of that, Jennifer. You have inspired us to keep believing in ourselves and keep having faith in our dreams, and we can literally conquer the world then. But we need to first conquer ourselves. And with that message, we would like to conclude this session. And once again, thank you so much, Jennifer, for connecting with us. And I hope we can, connect with you for your project or help you in any possible way. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer, and salute to your creative soul, and wishing you all the best for all your future ventures.
Thank you so much for inviting me, finally making it happen on this beautiful day. Really, thank you so much. And so nice to know that you guys are there with me whenever I want. I can reach out to you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah.